one of the problems, and this is something we were talking about earlier, you know these guys that get Broodlords in ZVP late game, and then they can't quite push across the map? You know what's similar to that, Artosis, is Ultras.
Yeah, Ultras are bad at attacking in. They're like defensively on creep, like the best thing.
I wonder if this is like a function of Zerg that Zerg might have a problem with in late game, is that you get these units like Ultras and Broodlords, and it varies in the matchup, but you see them. I'm like, yeah, you can hold off a Terran army, no problem. But can you actually go across the map and hit a Terran army?
It's very tough.
Not very often.
If they turtle correctly, a lot of this can't really attack them so well. So you kind of have to utilize the swarming of Zerg.
God.
We can talk more about that another time. That is a lot of Liberators.
Well, here's the crazy part. He can actually cut the army off from entering into the second. Actually, Innovation doing a super conservative game here.
Yeah.
Innovation just constantly backing up. I think he's afraid possibly of a counterattack. Because that might be the only thing that Dark has that could kind of even this game out.
You know, if he did counter, I feel like Innovation might come and crush. Oh, God. Innovation going towards the main base. A lot of Liberators, a lot of Medevacs. These Liberation zones going to be very scary. Oh, God.
Here's the problem that Zerg is never going to get up here like this.
No, he is not.
He's shooting the Corrosive Biles. Look at these Ultralists just evaporate.
You can tell which one's being targeted because it explodes. Wowzers. All right, good win by Innovation on Dusk Towers.
Innovation.
Up 2-1.
You know, he did a really good job back there. I think Dark... Can we talk about that again, the Ultra issue? There's like this Zerg counterattack function that I've just been noticing, and I've seen it especially today, but like, Dark gets the Ultras, right? Now, maybe the answer to this query is that you can't counterattack with Ultras like that. You have to tech with something else. But we've had a lot of games where the Zerg holds it, wipes out the Terran army, but lo and behold, with 2 starports that are reactored, there's enough Liberators out, they stop the counterattack of Ultras. Maybe Zerg's not supposed to counter. Maybe Zerg's supposed to make a Nidus and start hitting in different locations.
Exactly.
But we've seen this happen so many times where the game is either evened out or Zerg could have a lead, and then during the counterattack, because Ultras actually completely suck unless they're with a bunch of other units that back them up.
Ultras are not good at attacking.
They're not good at attacking.
They're just, there are quite a few units in the game that are actually quite poor at attacking. Like, if you attack in with Ultras, they utilize buildings, they utilize kiting. Same thing can be said about a few other units,
Ultras are good when you have to hold your ground.
Yeah, they're amazing.
If it's a moment where you can run away from
them. If they're attacking into you, Ultras are crushing that stuff.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is game number 4 here. Innovation up with a 2-1 lead. And our most exciting and anticipated match in tonight's GSL Code. In the bottom right, in the blue, our Zerg player.
SK텔레콤 T1, 다크.
And in the upper left, in the red, in the lead,
SK텔레콤 T1, Innovation.
Ultras are actually the easiest unit to throw with in the game, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
because Zergs are like, well, this is so good, this so crushes Terran army, until you get around a bunch of buildings and defensive stuff. And then they suddenly, they clump up, they can't get in and do their damage. Ultras on creep kill everything except, like, immortals. You know, like, on creep, they are so insanely good defensively.
I mean, just thinking out loud here, it seems like one thing that Zerg kind of has to deal with, I mean, because it's Zerg and because this is the way the game is designed, but that there's this onslaught of pushes coming out. And a lot of times, Zerg just have to keep expanding. That is, I mean, I know there's timing attacks, guys. I know there's all sorts of rushes Zerg can do, but in a lot of these more typical macro games, you see the guy just continuously try to hold stuff off, and I think that's what eventually leads Zergs down these paths of getting Ultras or Broodlords. Now, Broodlords is a little bit of another story because for some reason we see, and that's of course against Protoss, we see them get Broodlords, then I'm like, well, now you have one chance to counterattack, and that's it. Protoss has put on pressure the entire time and could have broken you multiple
If the game
moments.
is pretty even, yeah.
And in this case, we're seeing this, and it's not that I don't think that Terran should make Ultras to hold attacks. It's this weird counterattack thing that we've seen actually in a lot of TVZs or ZVTs where they counterattack, and of course an Ultra can't go through an entire Terran maze base with depots popping up with workers that, you know, they might have to chase down, Widow Mines coming out.
And they shrunk
Liberation
the size of the Ultra
zones.
too.
Yeah. It seems like what happens is that in these counterattacks, Zerg end up in like a weird deficit where Terran threw away the cheaper units that are basic Marines, Marauders, Medevacs. They're making that the whole time. Zerg ends up in the counterattack throwing away the most expensive, high-tech unit that he can get.
It's very well said, Tasteless, and I think that this is like part of the beauty of StarCraft is like the to and fray. Like, sure, there's going to be times where you can kill your opponent with ultras. Like if your opponent overcommitted against your defensive ultras and you crush an army, sometimes you're going to be able to go over and kill.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's everything that we say about StarCraft 2 is kind of elastic because the game has so much depth that you can find arguments and counter-arguments against everything, which is why Tasteless several times there said, like, in these more normal-ish games, and it's like you kind of have to tread lightly as if on eggshells to explain deep theory like this.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is I'm not saying that this is broken, right? But I'm saying that it seems like in the meta for Zerg, I can't believe that got away, by the way.
That's crazy.
It does seem like in the meta for Zerg, there's something that I think the Zergs might be handling incorrectly, and I think we're going to see a shift in that meta eventually.
Yeah, I think that people are going to get better at it and understand it more, like what they are supposed to be doing. But I think that, like, especially in these bigger games like you're talking about, it's okay to play the turtle into Ultralist style and then take more bases and utilize the mobility of Zerg and some of the spellcasters of Zerg to try to get your victory against Terran. Don't just attack in because you have a sick army.
And I think the reason why a lot of Zergs have been doing the counterattack to win is that previously Zerg had the units they could do that counterattack. If you're going Ling Roach or something, or like Ling Muta, Baneling, if you kill their army, guess what's pretty fast?
Yeah.
Mutas, Banelings, and Zerglings. You could just go across the map and you could blow up everything that the Terran has and you win.
That's a good attacking army.
Yeah, but we're seeing the same behavioral pattern when they have these Ultralists out here, and we're like, well, look at that. I mean,
you have to play it completely differently. And every race actually has some of these units. It's quite interesting to watch. Like, disruptors with Protoss, like attacking in. Disruptors are better defensively. If they're coming towards you, you can blow stuff up. If they're running, you can't catch anything with disruptors. You have to overcommit them to try to hit something, and then they can turn and kill. It's and like there are a lot of units like this where it's a little bit tough to actually get in the attack, and they're really great defensively. And
I mean, I think people sometimes because
this is the beauty of this game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's interesting because the AI is so clean in StarCraft 2, like way cleaner than Brood War, way cleaner. It's like crazy. That doesn't mean that some of these units are not fundamentally clunky, anyways.
Yeah, and they should be.
They have to be.
And like each unit can fulfill different roles in different games. It's like so crazy. Wow, Ravager Roach Ling just waltzing in. During all that beautiful talk.
Yeah, sorry guys, we got to pretty into that meta there, but this was like, this is a problem because he doesn't have
takes
the
out
tech
combat
lab.
shields.
Now, is Terran going to be able to trap Zerg in here? What I do know is that Terran is going to lose most of those SCVs, and this is actually a pretty sick Roach Ling timing attack.
Yeah, he just waltzed up into the natural, and like this is such a deadly move by Dark.
Well, this is one way to avoid having to use ultras in the late game, guys, is you just don't go to late game.
Certainly.
There you go.
The SCVs do come out, and Ravagers are one of these units when they're alone. They suck. Like, you've got to get out of there and wait for more units to come up. Look at this. He's starting to lose a bunch of Ravagers now to even SCVs.
I think he's okay with that.
Yeah. Well, he did so much damage that you got to assume he's happy. But
39 drones to 18 SCVs. And guess what? Even with just a few Lings up here, you could still come back in here and cause a problem. Picks up. Kills another SCV.
Oh, man, these SCVs are just dying left and right. Look at that. 35 killed so far. Good thing he did that, though, because he is very low on drones at the moment. He's going up into layer and starting to drone as well. I think he's realized that he's not going to quite kill innovation with this.
You know what's funny is that, he actually ran the Lings by. I don't think we caught it, but there actually Lings went up there and into the main. So I think he's going to lose a few more SCVs up there. Some bad rallies over here as well.
42 SCVs killed. Just crazy. Yeah, those Overlords being rallied up. Oh, that's so painful.
Well, that's one way to... That was actually kind of crazy.
I mean,
he supply blocked him.
Yeah. That's so rough. Oh, my God. And he's got 20 Marines and 4 medevacs. If all those units were at Dark's front, he'd be dead.
Well, there's that moment of disbelief when you're doing a rush like this, and you pretty much won, but you kind of want to end it. Now he's actually doing this counterattack. Now this is not going to work because there's just too many roaches. He's going to have to pick up and leave, but he did knock him all the way back.
Sure, that was, he kills 3 drones. He's kind of keeping Dark in his base now. Innovation needs time to replenish his economy. He's down to 15 SCVs, and he's been producing 3 at a time, so that is unbelievably low. His economy is in shambles, but he has mules, so, it's the same number as his opponent.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing is, Dark has actually really skimped on his economy throughout this game. He is kind of droning up at this point.
Well, Innovation spreads so thin here, it's a little bit scary for him. If he loses any of these medevacs and he can't get back, it's going to be another problem because Zerg is going to have another counterattack coming up here. Now, the drops are doing pretty well. However, Zerg doesn't have enough bases for this to be incredibly hard to hold.
Mm-hmm.
He's
holding it pretty well. Like, he's lost 2 drones to this so far. This is 3-pronged multitasking going on by Dark. He's all over the place with it, but he's not really getting that much value. He's some. It's starting to add up a bit more now as I say that.
Well, the problem is he's actually trading Marines like this. Mm-hmm. He's not just doing damage and getting away, and the fact that the Marine count's going to be low back at home means that I think Zerg could still have a pretty good attack coming up here. And, of course, with the number of roaches here, the Marines can't quite heal fast enough. I like the idea of trying to get the spawning pool because when Zerg does do the counter, they make lings and not roaches normally because those are faster than the roaches. They get there at the same time the roaches they hatch and move out and connect with the attack. But overall, Dark is kind of just shutting it down everywhere, Artosis.
He's doing a pretty good job of that. He's getting roach burrow movement as well as burrow, of course, to go along with that. Kind of weird if you only get the spikes on your head. But that's kind of interesting because obviously he's not going to be able to save many scans. His economy's been so badly hurt this game. We see Dark doing this multiple times. I wonder if that's going to be a new thing for the meta. I mean, Dark does a lot to change that. So
now here's where Dark can meet up head on. And this is the problem that Innovation's faced with. Is if Innovation was going to balance this out, he couldn't have lost any Marines in that counterattack or the drops.
Yeah.
And then he had to come back and be like, all right, I'm perfect. So this big attack should force the top base to lift, and I think he might even be able to force the second base to lift here.
Yeah, he might be able to just straight up kill him. He definitely has a much stronger army right now. Innovation trying to get some more upgrades, trying to hold the top of this ramp, but holding on 2 base is not even really that great. Look at that burrow movement done. He can burrow. Oh, man. Look at this, a turret a little bit too late.
Innovation not privy to this just yet. I think he knows now. He scans. There we go. He's actually splitting this up, though, like perfectly.
Wow. Very well done on that split. And now Innovation has to split everything up, get turrets, take possibly a little bit of damage, maybe use a scan when he really wants to be using mules.
By the way, Dark has not actually taken a 4th.
Yeah. He's pretty gung-ho about just Roach Ravager at the moment.
Now, that can also mean that if Innovation actually survives all this, that Innovation is okay. Okay, there's a 4th being taken down in the center right, but it's a bit late. We're at about 11 minutes here.
I think that Innovation has to cancel that for sure to have a chance here. He is getting 2-2, so that's a really big deal. He's focusing only on Army right now, not making any more SCVs, and I can totally agree with that as well. May as well just get as big a fighting army as he can because he has to do damage. He can't just try to macro his way out of this one.
Yeah, you are correct. He's just always going to be playing from a deficit, right? And as long as, Dark is doing his job and making stuff, it's going to be difficult for him to deal with. So he's attacking in here. And I don't know if he can actually fight that at all. He has the roaches popping out here, Dark does, and slowly whittling down the SCV count. I mean, this is really keeping Innovation, on his back.
Yeah, he's kind of like a turtle right now.
Yeah.
He's like trying to be offensive.
He's like that turtle in the Blade Runner questionnaire, right? It's like on his back and he's baking in the sun and like, what do you do? How do you help that turtle? And the replicant that empathizes with Innovation feels bad for him.
Oh, those fungals. Okay,
that's game.
Cannot win from there.
It. That was like losing a limb for Innovation. That was a totally crippling blow. And now we're going on to the 5th game. What a great night. I almost dropped the F-bomb. What a fantastic night.
It's okay. I do it sometimes.
It is amazing to have these games this good. We're having a long, awesome night. I am just almost becoming completely unfiltered here.
Yeah, well, Tasteless, I tell you, no one would blame you. These games have been pretty crazy tonight.
Well,
this is the third series going to Game 5.
I know.
All the series tonight are just fantastic. What a great day of Code A. We told you guys. How many times have we told you this is the best show on Earth? What do you watch right now? The best show on Earth. Okay, Game of Thrones second, this first.
Damn right, man. Lots of twists here today, and definitely in GSL, a lot more people died in Game of Thrones. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I tell you what, every day of Code A or Code S is another red wedding here, Tasteless.
That's right. We are going to go into our final map. This is our last game for the night. It is Dark and Innovation. It's anybody's chance. Let's see what happens when it all comes down. They got to bring the very best TVZ or CVT they've got to get into Code S. In the bottom right, in the blue, our Zerg player.
SK텔레콤 T1 다크.
I'm also getting a bit more horse today than I normally do. Thanks for coming down, guys. You're staying late. Past the curfew. It's 10:15 p.m.
Oh, no. I'm supposed to be in bed by now.
That's right. In the upper right, in the red, he is.
SK텔레콤 T1 이노베이션.
Will Innovation make it into Code S? This guy needs to get really deep to have a chance.
And this is like the next half of this year. A lot to lose for Innovation.
It is. It is.
Dark's already had a pretty dominant showing. And also, if Innovation does beat Dark, this is a good indicator that that Innovation is somebody who can actually go way deep into Code S.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, Dark is kind of like, well, if you can beat that Zerg, you're probably fine against any other Zerg in the entire world.
Yeah, he is the best.
Yeah.
No one quite measures up to him, so... Big test, though, to have right now, like especially when you look at some of our other series. Now, because we went into Legacy of the Void and reset the Code S seeds, that's what we do when new expansions come out.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So that's why we sometimes have matches like this in Code A. But if you, because right now I'm sure a lot of people look at this and they're like, like Pet versus Hero, and then we have Dark versus Innovation. Like, okay, so Hero's in, but Innovation or Dark won't be. That's weird. But over time, we kind of grind every top player into the Code S. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the more Code S's we have, the more we get them filtered through.
Like the end of next year, we won't have any more matches like this in Code A, so this should be celebrated at this point. Mario vs. S last season, Dark vs. Innovation this season. What a wonderful match to have before Code S even starts.
Now, if you notice, with these two, I think because they're at such a high caliber, you really do want to watch for the first few minutes because it seems like whoever gets that lead, gets over that hump, stays there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was Innovation with drops Game 1. It was Dark denying the drops perfectly in Game 2. Game 3, it was... what was Game 3?
That was the Dust Towers game. That was
the Dust Towers. The long one with the Ultra counterattack.
Yeah.
Now, that one might have been the only one that was actually neck and neck, but then Dark counterattacked, and Innovation had it there. But it was pretty close throughout that entire game. And then, of course, in Game 4, it was the Lings and Ravagers coming in there, and he had to lift. So let's keep our eyes peeled here. Now, a lot of you might say, well, isn't that how most StarCraft games go? Actually, not exactly. If you look at the games we've casted so far today, it's been quite the opposite.
Well, StarCraft has so many ways that you can come back, especially in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
The person who gets ahead does not just keep it anymore like they did in previous iterations. There's a hell of a lot you got to do and keep on top of.
But it seems like with these guys at least, usually they can maintain that lead.
Yeah. 2 Raxes with the quick stim. It looks like we're going to have that harassment like we saw in Frozen Temple from Innovation coming up here again, like multiple medevacs, 2 to 4 medevacs, and a bunch of Marines with stim kind of flying all over the place.
Now, look,
and Dark is going into the Roach Warren to try to counter this.
And let's also point out that on this map, Zerg may feel a bit of discomfort because Terran is very close. I mean, this is actually...
medevacs get there super fast.
Medevacs get there fast, Artosis, but you can walk there by land.
Yeah.
I don't know.
1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
Well, walk there on water, This is Innovation, okay? Innovation's Marines do walk on water, guys. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, we do need bridges over water.
Innovation once turned soju into wine, or water into soju, or however you want to do it, guys.
Soju into wine. Probably wine into soju. I think that makes more sense the way that
I think water into soju would actually go better with the biblical passage.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just talking about which way would work more easily through science.
I'm like, he turned milk into gasoline. I'm like, well, is that good or bad? I don't. It just seems kind of like a nonsensical, you know.
How much is a gallon of milk and how much is a gallon of gasoline? That's the question. Ooh. Catches that one, Marine. This is a nice little harass.
Yeah, takes the drives the little wings out there. We got, again, the Roaches and Ravagers. This is something Dark really likes to do. Oh, my God. We got a drop coming in here, and he takes out one Roach.
Yeah, he's not quite ready for this. A lot of damage going down, but he instantly picks up, goes to this main base. Of course, Dark already knew this would be happening, so a couple Roaches up here. He has some time while these unload.
Okay, I love that. He actually just picks up and drops again. He lets them all unload. Is he not going to drop here?
I think he should.
I can't believe he didn't unload there. I think there might have been a misclick.
Yeah, he might have gone back to do something.
That was like actually set up so perfectly to get the optimum amount of Roaches into the main so that he could drop there. But it seems like there was a misclick.
Right. More drop harass continues here at the natural.
This game looking a lot like game number 1, by the way.
And that's a really good spore, so that's going to deter that going forward. The one thing I'm a little bit surprised about is he didn't try to drop with the other 2 medevacs during that. Could have been nice, but behind this, he's going for that 3rd command center, setting up some Liberators as well. Getting ready to go into the macro game.
Okay, already taking down these rocks. Combat shields are getting close to being done. And Innovation, although he's dropping hard, he is going to be taking a 3rd base in just a little bit here. So he's just trying to keep Dark on his toes, trying to take out, let's say, Creep Tumors, for instance, Overlords, and even spare Roaches and Ravagers. And by the way, I think Innovation's one of the only Terrans where you'll see him actively try to gun down a Roach or a Ravager in the middle of the map. Yeah. Whereas any other Terran player just runs away from it, because normally that's a sign of danger. Innovation, with his supercomputer mind, is like, that would be one less Roach if I just control that perfectly, and I can control that perfectly, so why on earth would I not do that?
It's worked out for him so far here. Definitely knows that there's no real anti-air out yet, but this is much quicker infestors than we've seen from Dark. Really fast. 3 bases, he's not even trying to take a 4th, going right up into that hive, and here we go, a big drop.
He might go into the main here. He's going to go into the main for sure. He might want to go to the ramp, actually. Oh, but you know what? Putting it over here in the bottom left can be good, too. He can get both bases.
He can get out super fast from here. Oh! The counter drop goes down. A couple liberation zones as well. But we do have Ravagers coming over with that Corrosive Vial.
And now he's coming over here with these Marines and hitting these drones, also doing a good amount of damage. It looks like this is the beginning of the end, though, for this drop. Actually, you know what? That Liberation Zone's pretty good. If he gets that Ravager, that'd be huge.
Ooh, that's brutal. Roaches are in the main base, though, to hold off these Marines.
This drop is kind of crazy, man. He's just, like, still running around. He's got, like, 5 medevacs, 4 medevacs, and, like, 4 Marines doing damage everywhere. And this base is not mining. Again, it's 3 base versus 3 base now. Fungals coming in over here.
That's a sick fungal with sick corrosive biles behind it.
Now, let's also point out, the medevacs, a good amount of them were killed off back there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to save those. But, again, 3 base versus 3 base, 65 drones to 59 workers, plus mules. Terran's not in bad shape. Also, Zerg's macro faltered. We're at like 500 gas and about 1K minerals until just now it dropped down there. But for most of that attack, it was hovering up in that realm.
He's trying to go into Ultralisk tech right now on 3 bases without too big of a bank, without too big of an army, whereas Innovation's been macroing up at home beautifully. He held that well at the end, but right now he's in a lot of trouble. Liberation Zone going up on that mineral line as well.
I think the Ultra tech is premature. I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that for sure, Tasteless.
And, you know, he seems to have just enough Marauders and Marines that it's pretty scary. Even though the Roach number's high, it's like every time you engage incorrectly, a Roach or 2 gets shaved off right away.
Yeah.
Faster than Marines and Marauders are.
It's super hard to make Ultras on 3 bases as well, especially against someone like Innovation that is going to have the maximum supply available to Terran the entire time. And Innovation's kept so much pressure on. Dark has done no counter-harassment damage since the original Ling run by.
Yeah, and actually kind of almost canceled that too fast there. Canceling the 4th base before it even actually took a shot. as close as these fights are, guys, it's the bigger picture in the fact that Terran is getting more and more ahead. And another drop over here. Innovation looking so good. Got to watch out for those corrosive vials, and he does.
Right now, a couple roaches here gonna fall down as well, like you've been talking about. Innovation, pick off anything you can.
He sees
Drop
the Ultras Cavern.
Ooh, getting that Ultras Cavern would be pretty big, especially if he doesn't have that upgrade, the chitinous plating. Does have to back off, though. That fourth base never gonna make it.
I don't think so.
He needed to take that a lot earlier. He needed to focus on the creep spread a lot earlier, but he chose to go for the very fast infestors, try to rush up to Ultras very quickly. I'm just scared about overall, like, him having an army that can support Ultras. Even if he has Ultras out, if he doesn't have enough beef with it, it won't do anything.
Let's also keep in mind, like we were saying, he probably can't attack with those Ultras. He can only defend with them, especially if Libera's around here. Oh, my God! Oh, it completes. It completes. He gets to keep the upgrades. And
he's not even going to get it. Just barely living through that.
Well, that was something Dark really needed to have happen to keep that Ultraless Cavern alive. Now, if it was taken out, he still had enough out, you know, that he could at least probably try to hold this for a little while.
Yeah.
Again, it's Zerg, a scrappy Zerg, 145 supply to 175 Terran, you know, with a lot of muscle on the map, and really with map control.
This really complete
game.
Map control. Dark has been stuck in 3 bases forever, which is not something you'll normally see. He's finally getting a little bit of Ling harassment out, which is really good. He's got a good set of Ultras as well. This is a little tiny choke, though. Oh, my God.
Well, if there's one thing, that's going to be like the medevac kill of the year. Had he gotten a few more corrosive vials, he could have taken out literally all of them.
Look at this, another fungal, more corrosive vials going down as well. Dark starts to punch out through this army, but he doesn't have enough beef there with the Ultras.
And actually a really good attack there at the top by Dark with those Lings. This is like so low econ, it's kind of crazy. We see the Innovation has actually lost a ton of workers up there at the top. Dark has got like a very sophisticated tech, but he doesn't have a big income.
His income is pretty...
It's about as low as it can be.
Yeah, like it's about to disappear, I guess is a good way to put it. Like, sure, his number is still okay and he's still producing well, but all his bases are going to be mined out suddenly. He doesn't have a fourth. He can't even float a hatchery over. Finally starts another fourth.
Every Ultraless right now is like a collector's Beanie Baby in like 2002 or something like that. I mean, it's like these things, you lose one, it's bad.
Yeah.
In late game, I mean,
and they have splash damage.
They got splash damage, which Beanie Babies didn't have.
Oh, they didn't have that?
No.
Why did people want them so bad?
I don't know. I switched to StarCraft.
How much carapace?
Like 1.
Oh.
No, I mean, seriously, every Ultimate, he's pushing here. He's pushing, okay? And Zerg's got a lot. But remember, guys, Terran can try to use the jungle of Terran buildings to micro back and defend. Yeah. And that's why I think it's a really wise decision that Dark actually turned around there and didn't go for the jugular and try to take him out. Ooh. Now, this attack is huge as well.
Oh, that's a huge move right there. To just bring in 8 Marauders or so and pick off that hatchery, that is the majority of Dark's income. This is so rough right now.
This is kind of crazy, man. He's actually, because he's taking out the Spore, and we don't see any infestors catching up with this, Terran is able to do a couple jabs here and there. However, the map control is going to Zerg. And Zerg has actually expanded to the only realistic expanded location that Terran could take. He's got creep over here. The Zerg's new base, just to the center right, is over there. Now, our observer just highlighted the upper left where Terran might expand. That's not going to be easy to hold.
No, not at all. He has to kill rocks to get over there even. Like, Lings can go over to harass that very, very easily. So, a very tough base to take. I love that Dark has expanded here. He needs that creep underneath his army. Creep, like, doubles the power of this army.
So, we're going for Beefcake Zerg here.
Beefcake.
This is Beefcake Zerg. Yeah, I mean, it's like just Ultras, and he's got these some Ravengers here. He's got a bunch of Queens, and it's like, I don't think Zerg can necessarily go in there and kill the Terran, but Terran cannot leave the map. Innovation is grounded.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's trying to liberate himself with these zones. He's going to need a lot of them. Aspire on the way. Probably going to see Corruptors popping out of that. I can't even imagine Broodlords being made. But he needs a little bit more anti-liberators because that is all that's keeping him alive.
Yeah. if he takes out the Liberators, Zerg can shove in. And I think, by the way, for Terran, the Liberator was a great unit to put in the game because Terran needed something to really even enhance further that turtling aspect when they do want to stay back. Because otherwise, Terran, I think, is just too fragile. You know, I mean, you need to have these like power. I mean, units you can take out with technical attacks, but you can still hold a position quite well.
Like against this ground army, the amount of Liberators he has will just hold it. Like with Stim Bio underneath, easy peasy. Sure, he can kill someone with Corrosive Biles, but you have to get rather close for that, and the Liberators will deal a lot of damage. So Corruptor production is starting, but missile turrets being added, and I love that. I think he'll make a few more as well.
Yeah.
Those are really going to help out against the Corruptors. And that's a style that everyone knows Dark uses all the time.
Okay, now, the odd position for Zerg is the more Liberators that come out, eventually he can actually... Oh, no. Okay, Dark retreats here. The more Liberators he makes, he can actually Liberator Zone crawl to the hatchery. Now, Zerg has a backup plan, and he's expanding to the bottom center. But, again, you got to be careful. Okay.
Oh, my God. Ooh, beautiful fungal going down. Corrosive Biles as well. Dark very fast on those follow-ups, taking a ton of damage on these Ultras. He's actually attacking into Liberation Zones. This never goes well, but he does get a great fungal off and more Corrosives.
He's made enough Ravagers, man.
Maybe he has. He's trying to punch through, but there's so many Marauders here as well. This is a really big deal.
He's starting to drive him back over here in the upper right. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Don't overextend with your Ultras.
Oh, that is the easiest way to throw a game, Tasteless. He loses most of his Ultras here. He is making 5 more, though. His economy has really been revived with that new base. Continuing to punch in, throwing down the Corrosive Biles onto these Liberators.
And, you know, he's doing damage, but is Terran going to weather this? You know, with Stim and Medivacs and Micros, sometimes you can hold this off. Liberators come out. The top center base is under threat. The center right is under threat.
This is such a big deal right now that he's taking out these bases. Ling's down in Innovation's last mining base right now, just ravaging everything. Innovation has almost nothing left. He might not be going to Code S, Tasteless.
Crazy game here. It is this base over here in the center right. Has Innovation given up? There's so much for Dark spilling through. There it is. GG.
Wow. Wow. Dark breaking through after being on 3 base Ultra Rush. Like, Innovation was crushing for a while there. Had complete control in every way, but...
Well, I'll tell you something, Artosis. Innovation is easily one of the best players of all time, but I will also say Dark right now, the best Zerg. I mean, he made that work. That was a tough spot. Yeah. Innovation had good push potential. Innovation was doing great with the drops. Dark actually had no other base for a little bit, but expanded to the closest base to Terran and managed to make it work.
Great moves. I can't believe he broke through those Liberation Zones. That was so scary when he ran in there. He was taking so much damage. There were great transfuses going on, though.
Yeah.
He was hitting those Corrosive Biles as quickly as he could. He was throwing down fungals when he could. Well done by Dark. Like, really solid for him to pull out the series at the end.
I got to say, though, I mean, it's kind of sad to not see Innovation move on because he played so well.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, you are against Dark. How much experience has Dark had in Legacy against the best players in matches that matter? More than Innovation.
Yeah,
and Innovation's
he
played
has.
a lot.
Dark is a better player right now than Innovation, I think.
Yeah.
Innovation did play very well, though, and there's still the chance of SSL. If he can get deep in SSL, maybe get to a cross finals, that could be the push he needs to get to BlizzCon.
I hope he does it.
I hope he does, too. I'll be, like, heartbroken if he doesn't get into the SSL main tournament.
But, of course, that is kind of the story of StarCraft, right?
Yeah.
We only got so many room for so many players at the highest level. Somebody's got to lose so that somebody else can win.
Absolutely.
And that's,
we have a similar story with the defending world champion SOS as well. He lost in SSL last night. He's not there, but he is in Code S. So these are 2 of the players that we really got to follow in this next couple seasons.
Yeah, or we got to rewrite StarCraft history as far as who's, you know, dominating. Some people have been dominating from the start to finish. Some people, most people, come on top and then fade back out and maybe come back. We'll see. This was a fun day.
Tonight.
This is a good
Everything
night.
going to 5 games. Really happy about it. Very close series. If you're just tuning in or you just watched the series perhaps, which I bet a lot of people did, you probably want to check out at least Sorry versus...
You know what?
I'd say the Seed. That was a great series.
I think the whole day was good.
Yeah. Hero vs. Pet was pretty good.
Hero vs. Pet was good. Some of the strats are pretty cool. Some
I really
close
like
matches.
Sorry vs. C, though. That was great.
Yeah. Well, that could have been the best series, but then we had this one, which was also so close. I think we're going to show the schedule.
Yeah, next week's schedule should be
That's
coming
right.
up.
There we go.
And there you have it. Pretty decent matches next Wednesday. Going to be fun to see Classic trying to make it right back into Coda S. Over on Friday, the Mystical Byung fights again. Ooh, MC, his match.
Did you call him the Mystical Byung?
Yeah, the Mystical Byung. Like, everyone loves Byung. It's like actually like a... He has everyone under his spells, under his power. Everyone is a Byung fan.
Oh, man. Well, this was a great, long, fun night. We are going to wrap this one up, guys, because it's late. Everybody's got to go home. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Of course, Artosis and I will be back next week for some more GSL Code. So we'll see you Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. Wednesday.
6:30 Korean Standard Time.
Check out Pro League this weekend. Opens
Yes.
up. I think you're casting on Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be there Sunday. And I'll be seeing you guys there, of course. And good job as always, Artosis. Guys, we love you no matter where you are. Definitely keep watching the GSL Code because Code S is going to get really sick. Can't wait to get this whole thing
Got to
set up.
prepare yourself. Build up
Yeah.
the tolerance of amazing.
That's right. We love you guys. Take care. Have a great night.